Okay, today we're going to talk about 9-4, factoring trinomials, using the form ax squared plus bx plus c. Now, what's different about this one, this lesson from the last lesson is that for last lesson, 9-3, we factored trinomials using just the x squared plus bx plus c form. So now the difference is this a in front of the x squared. So not too much different, though. It's pretty much done the same way we did the last one with a little bit of differences. So the good thing is you pretty much know how to do it. So let's go ahead and do it, and we'll look at the differences when we get there. So the first problem we're going to do, as you can see it's written down here, is number 10 from your homework. So like we've done with the x squared plus bx plus c last time, is we're going to create a little box, which is going to connect this -4 to this 4 right here. Now, last time this 4 that starts the problem was never there. It was always just x squared or the variable squared. So you always multiply it by 1, but now we actually got something. So we have 4 times -4 on the ends. And we know that that equals -16. So something times something equals -16. Now, it's not 4 -4 as much as we'd like it to be. It's going to be something else. The middle number right here is 15. So something, that same something plus that same something is going to equal 15 when we add them. Okay? So we're looking for these numbers now. So what numbers are going to do this? So in order to do this, I need to find all the factors of -16. Now, I can get a negative by multiplying a positive by negative, so I know one of them's negative and I know one of them's positive. So it's not really that hard to see here, because I know that 16 times -1 is -16, and I know that 16 minus 1 is 15. So those are my two factors that I was looking for. Now, what these two numbers represent is what the 15b was before it was added together. So what we're actually doing here in this step is we are separating this 15b into the two factors it used to be before. So for example, now that we know what the two factors is, we're going to rewrite the problem as 4b squared. Instead of writing plus 15b, we know it's plus 16b minus 1b, because those are the two factors right here. And then we'll continue on with the minus 4. So pretty much what we did here is we rewrote the problem by separating the 15b into what it used to be, which was 16b minus 1b. So now that we have 4 different terms, the only thing we can do really is to group them. So I'm going to go ahead and group 4b squared plus 16b, because they're going to go together really nicely. And I'm going to group -1b minus 4. They're going to go together as well. So now we need to figure out what factors we can take out. So 4b squared and 16b obviously have a factor of 4 and of b. So what's left over in 4b squared after I take away 4b is just a b. And 4b divided by 16b is just 4. Because 4b times 4 is 16b. So that's left over from there. Now let's focus in over here. I got -1b, which is just like saying -b. And actually, let me change that, because I don't really need that 1. -b minus 4. So I can't really factor out anything because they don't have common factors. But I need to factor out something. So if you can't find anything to factor out, in this case, you just need to do of 1. Because everything is to the factor of 1. And if they don't have a common factor, just put 1. Now, usually what we do is we have two of these terms match up. So as you can see, b plus 4 and -b minus 4, they almost match up, except the -b minus 4 is opposite. So what we do is, to this term, we got to make them negative, or we got to make them positive. So we're going to turn these positive, and we have to turn this negative because that's together with the problem. So now these two are the same. So that's my first term, which is b plus 4. These match up, come over here, right? And now we're left with 4b and minus 1, or -1. And that is my answer. So it's much like the problems we did last time in 9-3. It's just a little bit more tricky. So hopefully this helps out. And we're going to go ahead and do another problem just to make sure that you guys know how to get it. Okay, now we have problem 22 that we're going to do. It's 4a squared minus 16a equals negative 15. Now the first thing you should notice about this problem is it's not written in ax squared plus bx plus c form. That's kind of an issue because it has to be written in this form for us to solve it. So, but it's not that hard. As you can see, the only thing that's missing is this negative 15 should be on the other side of the equal sign. So really all we have to do is move it. So we're going to move it by adding 15. If we add 15 to both sides, we end up with 4a squared minus 16a plus 15. And over here we have 15 minus 15, and that's going to be 0. So now pretty much we have the same thing that we had last time with the last example, except as you can see, it now equals 0. Now, I don't want you to worry about that right now, but you should know that that means we're going to be doing zero property rule. So, but right now, let's go ahead and solve the problem like we did with the last one. So we have 15 times 4. We know that that is 60. So something times something equals 60. We also know that when you add those same things, same numbers, we get negative 16. Now, here we assume that these two numbers that we're multiplying are positive because they equal positive 16. However, when we add them, we get a negative. So if you think about it, there's only one possible way that it could be. It means that these two numbers down here that you're multiplying are negative, because that's the only way you can add two negative numbers to get a negative and multiply two negative to get a positive. So we just got to figure out the factors of 60 and find out which of them equals negative 16. So first we have, we're just going to do a little trial and error. So we're going to have 1 and 60. Okay, there's no way I can add these up or subtract them to get 16, so I know it's not that. There's 2 times 30, which is also 60. I can't do anything to that to make it negative 16 or even 16. 3 and 20, 3 times 20, nothing I can do. That turns that into 16. 4 and 15, ooh, that's pretty close, but that's not going to give me it. I have 5 and 12. If I add 5 to 12, I have 17. That's pretty close, but it's not 16. Let me see. Then I got 6 and 10. Okay, so negative 6 times negative 10 is positive 60, and negative 6 minus 10 is negative 16. So those are my two factors, negative 6 and negative 10. So that's what negative 16a was before we split it up. So let me go ahead and erase this so we can go ahead and continue on with our problem. So from here we know that this turns into 4a squared minus 6a minus 10a, because that's how we got the negative 16a, plus 15, and don't forget about the equals 0, even though we're not doing that right now. So let's go ahead and group them now. I like the 4a squared with the 6a, and I like negative 10a with the positive 15. So let's go ahead and factor out 4a squared and negative 6a. 4 and 6 share a 2, and they share an a as well. So in here I'm left with 2a and minus 3. Over here we have negative 10a and 15. We know that they share a 5. So that leaves me with negative 2a plus 3. And don't forget that that equals 0. So, as we saw last time, the 2a minus 3 almost matches with the negative 2a plus 3. However, they're backwards. So I need to turn them I need to multiply one of them by negative to turn it into the other one. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply this side. I'm going to multiply this side by negative so it can match up with the other one. So that means this positive 5 turns negative, this negative 2a turns positive, and this 3, I'm just going to cross it out, and it turns negative. Now we have a match with 2a minus 3 on both of them. So what I'm left with is 2a minus 3 and 2a minus 5. Okay, remember that 2a minus 3s, they combine, and what's left over is 2a minus 5 to make the other one. So now this would have been our answer last time for the last problem, but now it equals 0, which means that we have to use zero property rule, which means that one of these problems, one of these parentheses, is equal to 0. Now we don't know which one it is, so we have to assume that it could be either one, so we need to go ahead and solve them. So let's go ahead and do the first one. We have 2a minus 3, and we're going to assume that equals 0. So it's really easy. You just have to do the work to make sure you can get the problem to solve for a. That's 3. Of course, we need to divide by 2. And for our first problem, we have a equals 3 over 2. So that's our first answer, 3 over 2. Now for the next one, we have 2a minus 5 equals 0. So we're going to add 5. We have 2a equals 5. Divide by 2. We have a equals 5 over 2. So that's my second. This is a solution set. So this is my answer for this problem.